Alright, so I'm going to show how to open up a Toshiba satellite P55W-C5316. So first what you do is just remove all the screws from the bottom. After you do that, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 screws. After you do that, open it slightly. And then just get your fingernails or a pry tool between the two layers here of the bottom half. And just go prying around all the way around. When you get to the side with the power button on it, you're going to have to actually lift it this way. So the power button is on this side, so just go all the way around. This side you'll have to also get between with a pry tool or your fingernails. Okay, and then once you do that, you can actually just lift this off just like that. Okay, so that's what it looks like inside. This one I'm not going to show the whole process, but I need to change the keyboard, so it's going to be a complete disassembly. So after that, you can see the hard drive here. So to remove that, you just flip this up. Then you grab the little blue piece here. You can pull on it to lift it at an angle like that, and then you can do that. Just make sure you don't pull the cable sideways. You want to pull it straight back this way. Okay, so now we got the hard drive. Then you got, let's see, usually people like to remove the battery first just to be safe. So this has some tape on it. So let's take this out actually. So this is the keyboard. Okay. So this is the keyboard connector. So to remove that, there's these two black tabs that you pull back like this and take it out. This keyboard was bad, so we just left it disconnected. So take out the battery, just undo these screws. Battery connector is actually right here, so if you want, you can take that out just by grabbing the two sides like this if you can, and just wiggle it while you pull on it. There isn't much slack, so I'm most likely going to have to take the battery out first. So just take all the screws out. So there's another screw here, another screw here, so it's held in with just 4 screws. Alright. Then you can lift the battery up like this, move it to the side, and then if you can't grab the side edges like this, you can just hold the cable as close as you can and just keep wiggling it like this, and it will eventually pop out. Just keep pulling and wiggling, and there you go, just like that. Okay. Once you got the battery out, usually you want to hold the power button just to drain any excess power. So check which side this button was on. So the power button is here on this side. So just hold that. Alright, here we go. The button is this black one. Oops. So just hold that, drain any power. Don't press it too hard so you don't rip the button off the board. Okay. And you got this connector here for this trackpad, and then it looks like LEDs. Alright, so we're going to have to set that aside. Let's see, hopefully I can leave the cable on there when I take this out, looks like. So I'll undo this one as well. Okay, just like that. The RAM is under here. I'm going to leave those in, but I'll show you what type of RAM. So this uses DDR3 12800S. Okay, PC3 12800S. So that's the RAM you need. Alright, so put that back in. We'll leave that in there. So we're going to have to take all the screws out now and all these connectors. So this is the LCD connector. So just go from the edges and just wiggle it and pull it out like that. Alright, all these things are going to have to come out. I'm going to see if I can leave the tape on here so I don't have to redo all the cabling. Alright. Looks like, is this the LCD cable? There's 2 of these, so this might actually be the board, the cable for this board, with the CMOS battery and the audio jack. the DC jack, or actually the USB port, and the DC jack is a separate one. That's this connector here. So I think this might actually be the LCD. The LCD is one of these two. They're very similar, so I'm not too sure. They didn't label it very well. Most likely, actually, this is the LCD cable, and then this is for the USB thing. Okay, and then the DC jack. So there's also the backlight for the keyboard. So there's the two little tabs here. You just pull it like that, and then you can slide the cable out. Okay, just like that. DC jack, you should be able to just wiggle it and pull it back like this. Okay, just like that. And then let's see here, the fan cable. So the fan cable here, just grab the two edges and wiggle it just like the rest. Keep wiggling, don't just yank it because you can break it, so just keep wiggling and it'll come out like that. Alright, so let's start removing pieces. Let's see, so that's good. That's good. We're gonna have to remove this bracket. There's a lot of screws, so you're gonna have to remember where they all go. So there's two screws here. Okay, holding this bracket down. Then you can take this bracket out, looks like. Alright. Then you got the wireless antennas, so to remove that, you lift up this phone, and then you can pry up from the back of the wireless connector, just like this, okay? Alright, so the black goes to the black arrow and the white goes to the white arrow, okay? Set that aside. Alright, then we'll remove the speaker here. So got one screw here. You can leave the screws in these. I think they'll hold themselves kind of into the speaker because there's little rubber things. So you can set that aside. There's this tape going around holding everything. So you can move the tape out of the way. Alright. Alright, set the tape aside. Then you got this connector. I believe this is probably for a webcam or microphone. It looks like the speaker connects to this middle one, the black connector. There's both speakers connected, so you kind of have to be careful because they routed all this stuff underneath. Okay, so let's see here, just like that. Oh, this connector's difficult. So you can't actually even grab the side, so I have to put my nail or pry tool between the connector and the socket and just do the same. Go from side to side, pulling on it, and it should come out. I can use two nails, might be easier. Let's see here. Okay, just like that. There we go. Then let's see, we got another speaker here. Let's see, are there any other screws along the way? There's one screw underneath this tape here. Okay. And you got the connector here for the fan underneath. Alright, let's see what else. And you got another screw holding down the motherboard here. Okay, so remove that one as well. Let's see here. So I think those are the only two boards holding that down. So now you got to remove the fan screws. Okay, just like that. Alright, the fan seems to be part of this heatsink. It's attached, so you have to remove it all at the same time. Make sure you disconnect all these other cables. So again, I think this is the webcam cable. Alright, and then we got another cable here that's going underneath. I'm not sure, there's so many cables going into this thing. I'm not sure which exactly is which. I guess we'll find out as I open stuff, hopefully. Alright, so unplug that one too. It's all covered with tape, so it's kind of tangled together. Alright, set that piece of tape aside as well. Alright, now you can lift this up. Don't lift with just this, because you can bend the heatsink. So make sure when you lift it to lift like that. Okay. Alright, don't really need to remove everything because you're gonna have to put it back later, I believe. So let me see here. Do I have to? I guess so. Okay. So just slide everything underneath the, the heatsink. Sorry, it was out of view. And then you can pull them all out. Okay. Be careful with the cables. The fan connector, I guess you can leave it connected because it's part of the heatsink. So unless you're removing the heatsink separately, you can leave that. The fan looks like this is one where they melted plastic to hold it in place, so if you needed to take it out, you'd have to cut these plastic things to replace just the fan. Yeah. Okay, so we'll set the board aside. There's not really much underneath. There's some model number or something it looks like here. Okay. That's pretty much it with the motherboard. Alright, the wireless card, if you need to replace it, there's a screw underneath. It pops up at an angle, just like the RAM pretty much. But that's pretty much what's under there. So, now let's see, here's the keyboard cable and the keyboard backlight cable. I'm going to see if I can take it out without removing the whole thing. So let me get another screwdriver for that. Okay. So we're going to use this smaller screwdriver to remove all these keyboard screws. Let's see, are they? Yeah, they're really small Phillips screws. So, got to remove all these. Okay. 1, 2, 3. I don't know if I'm going to have to peel up all this stuff. We'll find out. Okay. Hopefully not. I'm hoping that I can leave all of that intact. Oh, I need to remove the speaker and that other board. Okay, so let's remove the other speaker. 2 screws. Again, you can leave the screws in there, and then you can set this aside. Alright, just like that. 2 screws holding the top of this bracket and 1 screw holding the bottom. So remove these. Okay, it looks like the mount for this screw is broken, so I'm going to have to use pliers to hold it and twist it. Hopefully this is in view. Okay, so this one screw mount is broken, so I'm going to have to try and hold it with pliers. Let's see if I can. The plastic is too big in the way. Okay. Doesn't want to come out. Maybe the whole bracket will just... Oh, okay. It's all came out as one piece. This piece is broken. So we'll set that aside. Okay. And then we got to remove this USB board here. So there's 1 screw holding that in place. Alright. And then this part you can kind of leave intact because this metal plate is going to be reused. So I'll just do that just to keep it out of the way and move the CMOS battery. Okay. Got 2 more screws up here. I'm not going to have to remove all these cables and everything. Looks like the DC jack I'm going to have to move aside so I can lift it out. Alright. Back to the screws. Okay. Just remove all these little screws. There's a few larger screws holding it as well, but remove all the little ones first. Alright. Just like that. There, no screws there. Hopefully they're not hiding screws under the tape. We'll find out as I get closer. Okay. Alright, keep going. So many screws. We're almost there. Looks like we are going to have to peel up some tape. Okay. You put it back, make sure you don't smash these cables because you can damage them. Okay. Let's see, there's one more here. Another one underneath. Okay. Yeah, there's a lot of tape under this one, so we're definitely going to have to remove it. Okay. So we're going to remove this board. So just wiggle this one out. Okay, just like that, and wiggle this one out as well. Alright, the CMOS battery, you can leave it connected like that if you want. Alright, got that. Let's see, then we got the bigger screws. There's one here on this corner and one on the upper corner here. Okay, so move these two. Alright, let's see if I can remove this now or if they're hiding some more screws. So, this piece seems to be going, but we're going to have to remove this cable so that we can undo this piece of tape here. So, I think the easiest way, because this side's folded, I don't want to pull on it, so I'm going to pull on this. Usually I don't want to just peel straight up, I want to pull this way while I'm kind of peeling, so I don't bend the wire too much. Okay. Just like that. Alright, looks like the adhesive doesn't go all the way. So I will leave that then. Okay, and then we gotta peel this piece of the tape off. Alright, peel that back so it's not holding it down. And let's see if we can pull this up now. Looks like there's still something holding it down. Oh, the silver tape here. So this kind of tape, they put like little cuts in it, so it's kind of difficult. You can actually end up tearing it. Just be careful with it. Try and go from like the parts that stick out. So when you pull the middle, just pull it all the way till it reaches that cut and then go to the next spot. Okay, and that looks like it's good. Are there other hidden screws? It looks like it's pretty much out, but the tape is in the way. So I guess we have to peel all this tape up. So just be careful with this aluminum foil tape. I don't see it serving any function other than holding this bracket down, so if you tear it, it's probably okay, but I like to try and leave everything as intact as I can. Let's see here. Okay. If anything, it might serve a little bit of a thermal function with the board. Okay. All right. So the type of hard drive, I don't know if I mentioned, but it's a 2.5-inch SATA hard drive. You can replace it with an SSD and make this computer a lot faster. I think it had one in here. I don't know if they installed that afterwards or if it came with it. But, okay, just peel up all this foil, just like that. See why longer nails are useful. Don't have to grab any tools and worry about losing them or anything like that. Okay, so now that we've got all of that, this can actually be lifted out and you can kind of just hold it out of the way. Then the keyboard should come up. I don't think there's any other screws, but pry it from one corner if you can. Okay, and just lift it up just like that. Okay, so you can see keyboard comes with the whole backlight and everything. I don't know if they try and peel it off, but this one comes with it and everything intact, so looks like exact replacement. Okay. Let's see here, make sure everything looks the same. Okay, let's see, so all of that, it does look exactly the same. Alright, so we'll set this keyboard aside. Usually the main thing that will be different is the enter key, so make sure if you're ordering a replacement keyboard to check the enter key that it matches. Okay, that's the main thing. Sometimes this key will also be different. Okay, now we'll line this up and drop in the new keyboard. Alright, looks like it fits. So this you'll have to look at the old keyboard to make sure you get the folds right. So this one, it just curves up like that. This one, it curves in and then it goes back out. So just make sure you get the wires to go through. So it looks like this one will be okay. You might have to lift it up a little bit. And this one, you definitely, the keyboard, you have to definitely guide through this slot here. Okay. And we'll grab the backlight cable just in case, and also guide it through if we can. Okay, it's probably the most difficult part, is just getting these cables to make sure they go through while you're setting this plate down. Okay, I guess that one, oh, I definitely have to lift it up. I might need to use a needle or something. Okay. It's tough because you have to hold both of them up to guide them through at the same time. If you have someone to help you, it might be easier. Alright, so make sure guide those through. There we go. Oh, looks like this backlight cable is going to be tough. Okay, so I'm going to use a tool to help hold it up from while it's still here. Okay, there we go. So make sure it ends up on top of the metal plate. Alright, now we make sure, guide everything, make sure no tape, no wires, nothing are getting caught underneath. Okay, the foil tape might be kind of annoying. Alright, let's see here, did we get something caught there? There's more foil tape getting in the way. There we go. So it looks like everything is lined up now. This foil tape is still there. I don't know if this tape was on top, but no, I think it was underneath. Okay. So let's get rid of all those little plastic chunks. Broken piece. Alright, now we just got to put all the screws back in. So that's pretty much how you do it. Plug in the keyboard cable the same way. And that should be it. So hopefully this video helped you. I'm not going to record this whole process of putting it back together because it's basically the same thing as what I did, just in reverse. So if you're not sure where some screws go or something, just rewind and rewatch where it came from. And yeah, hopefully this video helped you. If it did, remember to like and subscribe because that'll really help me. And thank you for watching. Bye.